I want y'all to give it up and show your love right now to the one and only Jini Thornton.
Jini.
Man, we always happy to have her on the show because she helping us keep our finances together. Because we get excited and we see stuff on Facebook and buying stuff we don't need. But listen to this, Jini, good morning.
Good morning, Rickey, Smiley. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Happy to have you, even though college students just started the fall 2022 semester. Would you believe that, the financial aid season for next year, the fall 2023, spring 2024 school year starts? Do that make sense? Fall 22 semester, financial aid season for next year, and the fall 2023, spring 2024 school year starts next semester.
It starts October 1st. And so I'm so glad we're talking about this, Rickey, because parents are like, my kids just went back to school, and you're right. But financial aid for next year starts October 1st. So we want to make sure that we help all the parents, all the families get ready for financial aid season that starts in 2 weeks.
Right. Man, so now what is the FAFSA? What do they call that?
FAFSA.
That's the FAFSA.
Yeah. Right. And why is it so important to complete the FAFSA at the beginning of October?
Okay, that's FAFSA, Rickey. That stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And that's the application that gives you access to things like the Pell Grant, work study, student loans, and even certain scholarships. So again, it's critical that we apply as early as we can, as close to October 1st, because a lot of people don't realize that money is given out on a first-come, first-served basis. It's first-come, first-served. So if you're going to wait later on to January, February, those funds might not even be available for you. So let's get ready and prepare for October 1st.
Wow. Hey, Jini, so what are some of the most common mistakes that families make regarding the financial aid process?
Well, Brad, it's a few things people tend to do wrong. Number one, parents a lot of times do not involve their children in the financial aid process. It's really important that they understand what's going on and they participate and help. The other thing that happens, Brad, too, is some parents are like, look, this is your education, you figure it out, and they leave it up to the kids. But if this child is your dependent, they're going to need your help, and they're also going to need your financial information. Another thing that happens here, a lot of times families, one parent doesn't want anything to do with the financial aid process. And so it's really important that custodial parent, the parent that the child spends the majority of the time with, they're going to have to be willing to give that child their information to complete these forms.
Yeah. And, filling out the forms, Jini, can be really overwhelming. I graduated from college decades ago and can still remember my experience. But what advice do you have for parents whose children are seniors in high school and maybe they're not sure if their child or that senior is sure if they're going to attend college, but it's still kind of on the table? Should they complete the FAFSA as well?
They need to, and even if you're not sure if your child's going to go to school or you have no idea where they want to go to school, it's really important that you get these forms completed early in October. You can pick up to 10 schools. So go ahead on and pick the schools. So obviously, if your child does not end up going to school there, you will not be awarded any financial aid, but you want to go head on. And you can also update the list later. So say you fill out your 5 or 10 schools that your child may want to attend. You can update that list later on, but please go ahead on and get that FAFSA in early.
So, Jini, for all the parents that's still confused about the financial aid situation, please give us a website that families can use to educate themselves.
I think one of the best resources is studentaid.gov. Again, that's studentaid.gov. So really take some time over the next couple of weeks to check out the website, familiarize yourself with the form, because it can be a little intimidating, particularly if this is your first go at it. But that's why we're talking about this now, to give y'all a 2-week head start. And it's also going to let you know what information you're going to need, like driver's license numbers, social security numbers, tax return, your assets, your untaxed income like child support. So take the time over the next couple of weeks, check out that website, and begin to pull this information together.
Yeah, I love that. And the assets and the income is really important. So if the students are divorced, have never been married, which one should be completing the FAFSA? Should they be strategic with that?
Again, it's really important. What the law says is the rules are whoever the child spends the most time with is who should complete the forms. But where it gets a little tricky is, say the child stays primarily with the mom, but mom is remarried now. Guess what? New husband's information has to go on that FAFSA too. And I know a lot of families like, hey, I don't have anything to do with this. This is not even my child, so please take the time, get everybody on board, and let's get ready for October the 1st.
Yeah, it's your responsibility. Now, if one of our listeners get their financial aid award letter back and they don't agree with the amount of aid they've been given, what should they do?
Ricky, a lot of people don't realize that you can actually file an appeal. So assume you go through the financial aid process and you're like, wait a minute, there's no way in the world that I can afford to pay what they're telling me. Or maybe you've had a life event like a job loss, maybe a major illness that impacts you financially, maybe even a death in the family. You can file an appeal, but you have to file the appeal directly with the school. You do not do that with the federal government. So you have to find out from the school what the appeal process is. Please don't be afraid that to file that appeal and have them take a second look at your financial situation.
Janelle, quick question. Is there an age limit on financial aid?
There is not. However, let me tell you something, though, Gary. Listen, I know that's right, but graduate students do not get as much money in financial aid as people who are going after that undergrad degree. So go get that money for undergrad. Graduate school, it takes a little bit more finessing to get that money.
Do I fill out the same forms?
You can fill out that same FAFSA, but then you use up all that Pell Grant and everything already. Then you use that up already.
Yeah, but I paid them back too.
That's the way you said it.
I know that's right. You can't go get it again now. If you already use it up all at one time, you can't go back through there and get it again.
Boy, they're finna take all that out your Social Security check. That check that you expecting soon, it ain't gonna be what you think it ain't gonna be what you think it's gonna be. Gary, please show me your Social Security check when you start getting.
I sure will, because honey, I was like, $2. She getting close, honey. I'm like, let me hurry find out if I go back to school, honey.
Why I got to be you said she getting close?
Financial aid, honey. That girl's around the corner.
As always, Jini, thank you so much for sharing this very information with our listeners, and let people know how they can follow you for more money tips and information.
Absolutely. You can follow me at Jini Thornton. That's JiniThornton. No dashes before, after my name, Jini Thornton. Y'all have an amazing week and amazing Monday.
Hey, you too. All right, y'all. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.